Hello there, this is Christina. Welcome to my channel Lang and Lit. Talking about a new chapter from the book of Flamingo, and that is Lost Spring. Before I and you go further into this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you genuinely like my video, don't forget to press that like button. The writer to this chapter is Anish Young. She is an Indian author. She is famous for being a writer, a columnist and a journalist. To see into the background of the chapter, we need to first look into the title of the chapter. The title is Lost Spring. There something is lost, and here it says it is the spring. Spring over here is denoted as childhood. The childhood of the poverty-stricken children is being discussed over here. The loss of their childhood, the essential years, the beautiful years, they are the plight and suffering of the children who are living in poverty. The story here is divided into two parts, and the first part is being titled as that sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. The second part holds the title of I want to drive a car. So let's first discuss the first part. The story is set in Simapuri. Simapuri is actually the outskirts of Delhi. It is not very far away from Delhi, but yet if you see at the advancement or at the development of Simapuri, it is far away. The people who are living in Simapuri are the migrants from Bangladesh. They have come up from Dhaka in Bangladesh and they have migrated to this place. Now they are living there in penury. What do they do over here after coming from Dhaka, their native place? They have come to Simapuri and now they have become rag pickers. Not only the adults are engaged in rag picking, but even the children who are with them are all into rag picking. Another story talks about a child whose name is Sahib. His full name is Cbse. Cbse actually means the Lord of the Universe. It is very ironical where it says his name is Cbse, whereas he is a rag picker. Okay, he is not at all a lord, and it is not just Sahib, but the other children who are with him. He has a group of children who always walk together, and there are many others in Simapuri as well who are walking together to go to the garbage heaps and go on with this errand of rag picking. About these children are having rag bags on their shoulders. They are moving around whole of the day. Do you think they must be going to a school? No, they were not going to a school because first reason was that they cannot afford a school. Second reason, they did not have any school in Simapuri as such. Children, this is the time of spring in their life, but actually these children are not reaping anything out of that spring. Instead, they are suffering. They are having a heavy burden on their shoulders of that rag picking bag, that garbage bag, and they are moving around. But these children find happiness even in the errand of rag picking, and that is sometimes they find some money, a rupee note, a coin over there, and that makes them all the more enthusiastic, and they used to search for the garbage more. The children said that this garbage heap and this business of rag picking seemed to them that at times they are searching for some mysterious gift from that garbage. But for the elders, it was just the means of survival. From there, they used to earn money to take the bare minimum needs of their livelihood. So let's see how Simapuri looked like. We have seen that there were no schools. Actually, there were no basic amenities over there in that place. It was just a wilderness which was now converted into a place of living by these migrants. There was no sewage system over there. There were no built-in roads or anything like that which we see in the cities. Only and only dirt all around. When our author meets our protagonist of the first story, that is Sahib, she finds him with a group of children who are also in the business of rag picking. All of them are having a big bag of garbage on their shoulders, and they are moving around, and they even don't have slippers to wear. They are barefoot and they are walking all over. She meets Sahib, and then she jestingly just says that why don't you go to school? If I build a school, are you going to come over there? And this little boy Sahib very enthusiastically said that yes, if you are going to build a school, I'll surely come. And then after a few days, the author forgets all about this conversation, but this little boy Sahib remembers it, and again he comes to her and he asks, have you built a school? Can I come to your school? And at that time the author felt ashamed of such a light talking with him. In another instance, when the author meets Sahib, she sees him in a different manner. At that time, he was not having the garbage bag on his shoulder, whereas he was having a big canister of tea, and he was working at a tea stall. He was working over there for the payment of 800 rupees per month and all the meals of the day. But when she saw Sahib, she was not happy because she could see that carefree look which Sahib used to have when he was with his friends, having that garbage bag on his shoulder. Carefree look is not over there on his face. Instead, he is no longer a master of his own. That garbage bag which he used to have was his own. He was at that time his own master. But now when he's working for the tea stall, he is not the master of his own. Even the canister which he's holding belongs to the tea stall owner. So the life of this little boy Sahib has changed. We see that change does not bring any happiness to him. Now coming to the second part. The second part is I want to drive a car. This is the story of a little boy Mukesh who lives in Firozabad, the bangle making hub of India. All the people and the children who are living in Firozabad are engaged in the bangle making factory. They all are making bangles. Everywhere in the town you could see bangles. But the desire of Mukesh was different. His aim was different. He does not want to work in the bangle making factory forever like his ancestors and like the present family members. No, he wants to be a motor mechanic. Like Sahib, Mukesh is also not the only child who is working in that bangle making factory, but there were all the more 20,000 children who were there engaged in that bangle making factory. Talking about the bangle making factory, it was not a pleasant place. It was very hot because the furnaces were burning all the time, the melting of the glass, and it was all dingy. No light used to come. Even the people who were working there, the elders and even the children used to lose their eyesight. They were having different problems due to the conditions in which they were working. The condition of these people were really pathetic. There was no light, there was no air in those factories. They used to suffer early in the morning. They used to come, start the work of bangle making, and they used to work there for an entire day and then leave in the night. They never saw the light. Now once Mukesh takes the author to his house, and he was very excited because he said to the author that his house is in the process of rebuilding. When they reached over into the area where he used to live, it was actually a slum. And that slum was actually choked with garbage. It was all over stinking. The houses which were built over there again were of mud, and even their walls could be seen crumbling. They were breaking down. These houses had the doors, but they did not have any windows. It even looked that the humans and the animals were coexisting at one place. When the author reached the house of Mukesh, she saw that there was a very young lady who was cooking, and she was wearing a tattered sari. Okay, and that lady was Mukesh's sister-in-law. There were 4 members in that house, that lady, her husband, Mukesh, and his grandfather. Even the grandfather has lost his eyesight. The people who were living in the neighborhoods of Mukesh were all the same. They were either suffering from the eye problem, they have lost their sight, or they are suffering from lung problem, and it was all because of working in those dingy factories of bangle making. Then our author also saw a young girl, and her name was Savita. She was working in the factory and she was very mechanical in her work. Whatever she was doing, it was like a machine. She was operating it and she was making the bangles. She did not know the sanctity of these bangles. It was just a work for her. Her condition was also very distressful. She was very weak in appearance. She did not have any interest in life. She used to work again in those dingy factories where there was no light, there was no air, and she was also suffering physically and mentally. She did not know, or she did not have any future of her own. When the author tried to have a solution to this problem, she said that these people must go to the policemen and inform about the conditions in which they are working, and the government and the authorities should do something for their sake, for the good conditions, to provide the good conditions over there. What she comes to know from these people is that it is actually a vicious circle of poverty which they cannot pierce into, which they cannot go into, which they cannot break, because the policemen, the sahukars, the people, the authorities, the government even, and even the middlemen who were there, they were all together working against these people. They were exploiting them, giving them less amount of money, making them work in horrendous conditions. The people also told the author that if they go to the police instead of helping them out used to torture them, used to exploit them, used to make them suffer instead of going and finding a solution to it. At the end of the story of Mukesh, the author asks him that, don't you want to be a pilot of the airplanes? And he said no, because he was not knowing what airplanes are, because above Firozabad there were not many planes to be seen, but he knew what a car is. So his earnest dream was to be a motor mechanic. Now let's discuss the major themes which are there in this chapter. The first very evident one is child labor, exploiting of children in the name of work at the age when they should be going to school, they should be having that nourishment, but abstaining this all from them, making them work, living in poverty and being helpless living in poverty is another theme to this chapter. Then another one is that in the name of culture, in the name of tradition, we exploit poor people. Another very important theme is that the authorities and the government do not pay attention to the people. Instead, they themselves participate in the exploitation of the poor and the children of the poor. This ignorance by the government, ignorance by the authorities, and even the suppression from the authorities and government is another theme to this chapter. So this was The Lost Spring, and I hope this video helps you out with this chapter. Before signing off, I must say subscribe to my channel, and if you like this video, don't forget to like it. And till the time we meet next, happy learning.